Hey everyone, happy Halloween. It is Vinyl, as always. Today, I honestly could have planned better and made a horror game today, like a horror game video, but I can't really do that. So, we're going to um, talk about the FNAF movie and my thoughts. I watched it the day it came out on the 26th in theaters. I thought it was pretty good. I really liked it. It's kind of just going to be a jumbled review. I'm not going to make it super like conformed or anything. I'm just going to kind of talk about it. Plot-wise, it was pretty neat. It was about Mike Schmidt and his life and what happens, how he becomes a security guard in the animatronics, and how they were, how they're children inheriting the suits or whatever you would call it. I don't know. Um, Pretty neat movie. For like plot, the plot was fine, right? I'm a huge FNAF fan. I waited 9 years. Like for me, the plot was awesome, but for some people, it's like plot's fine. Um, Good enough for a movie. Um, I really liked the characters. Mike Schmidt was a really well done character. Good character motivations. He had an interesting like arc. He did stuff other than just being a character that's just like I'm a badass. Bleh, I do this. He was an actual character. So yeah, I had a lot of fun watching watching the movie. I thought Mike was great, and I thought every other character was done pretty well. Afton was done phenomenally. He was threatening on screen, which surprised me. He actually, when he was on screen, I was actually kind of like, oh, damn, they made him something. They didn't just make him, a funny guy in a suit. I also like how his spring locks were relatively stable due to him using the suit. It's his own suit. So him using the spring locks and them actually being relatively stable. Very impressive stuff. I also really liked the designs. The designs of all the characters, the animatronics, all phenomenal. It looked great. There was genuinely not a thing that I think looked off. Like it looked phenomenal. The cupcake looked great. Bonnie looked perfect. It was good. Some people hated the fort building scene. Personally, I loved it. I thought the fort building scene was great. Super cool inclusion to make people remember that there's kids in the suits. It's not just killer robots. And then they had the fodder characters walked in. They killed them all in horrifying and cool ways. And you could say, oh, just to prove that they're murderous, they're evil. But who cares? It's fun. It's fun to watch. I also like how the cameras actually played a little bit of a role in the movie. They didn't really do much. I kind of wish they had a little more, but overall it was just the movie was good. I was entertained the whole time. I didn't really even think about it during the film. My only complaint, my genuine only problem was the spring locks. Could have been worse in a good way. It could have been more gory, stuff like that. Obviously I understand the rating and the amount of kids that usually are a part of the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom. Well, the amount of kids that are part of the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom, you can't really make that movie R. But I did really enjoy the moment where the girl got cut in half by Freddy. That was a great moment of gore for the movie, even if it was pretty off screen. I hope we get some sort of R-rated cut, or unrated cut that shows us a different version of how the spring locks would actually be. Especially with Scott writing it, I really wanted to see the full scope of the spring locks. He was the only person who knows what they truly look like. He was the one who came up with the idea. So I was really hoping to see the full scope. And if that is the full scope, it's a lot less gruesome than we've been led to believe, apparently. But as I said, the restaurant looks great. The characters, the acting was really good. Vanessa was cool. Mike was, as I said, Mike is just phenomenal. Good character motivations. He was actually interesting. I was interested in his side plot. Not something I usually say about horror movie characters or side plots in general. Usually I don't like side plots, but Mike's side plot was really, really good. I also thought Matt Pat's inclusion was perfect. I noticed this in the theater, but the restaurant he worked at was called Sparky's, and Sparky the dog was kind of the first ever FNAF theory, urban legend style thing. That was one of the first ever ones that really kicked off and went mainstream. From my knowledge, at least, that's what I remember. So seeing that that he got that kind of bravado from Scott it makes me really happy. It's nice to see things from the books. I did read 2 of the books, so we'll see. I'm kind of hoping that they go all in with the book style and they uh, get really fancy and they make the like the twisted animatronics would be really cool to see, or just any form of the nightmare animatronics. I'd like to see the Bite of 87 or the Bite of 83 conceptualized as well. I know we got pretty close with, the person getting chomped in half, but, still, I would like to see more of the original lore. The book lore is also great, but I would love to see original lore. The original lore is still really interesting. The Torture Freddy mask, whatever you want to call it, was also really cool. I really like the design. Watching like 8-Bit Ryan's vlog and seeing him like look into it, like it's a really cool mask. Like it's pretty impressive. But I was a big fan of Torture Freddy, and I was just a big fan of the whole movie. Really, I don't know. I think it was really interesting. This is kind of a ramble review. I'm sorry for that, but like I thought it was really interesting. I was glued to the screen the whole time. I never felt bored. I just really enjoyed what I was watching, which is a rare thing. Usually I'm not a big movie guy, but I really genuinely enjoyed what was going on in the movie. I really liked the characters, I really liked the plot, I really liked the visuals, I really liked the twists, kind of like the hidden turns, even if some of it was super obvious and I knew it was coming. Being a FNAF fan, it was just nice to see, and I'm really happy Scott actually got this movie out to us. And I'm pretty sure we're getting more, and I'm really excited. Like I'm so excited I can't even explain it. I can't wait to see what's next if we do get another one. But that's gonna be it for me. I know this wasn't really much of a review, but I liked it. I really did. So if you haven't gotten the shot yet and you're a Five Nights at Freddy's fan and you were worried because of the fort scene or some other things, please go watch it. It was really good. It's not as bad as people say it is, at least in my opinion. And if you're not a FNAF fan, I still recommend giving it a shot. It's still a nice movie overall, ignoring the FNAF parts. Well, not ignoring the FNAF parts, but ignoring the fact that you should probably be a FNAF fan to watch the movie and they're not trying to bring new people into the IP. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Happy Halloween. I will see you guys on the next one with some more Spider-Man.